Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the launch program. I am so excited you are here. The first day is really easy to come to, really easy to get excited about, but really the magic happens when you keep coming and you keep coming consistently. So I'm so happy you're here, and make sure that you put in the time and you set aside the time for the next few days to get through the rest, and let's seriously hit it home out of the ballpark and do all the good things that we need to be doing for our launch. So day 2 is going to be the second part of the energy of launching, and just being in the energetics of how you need to show up. And then from here, or from tomorrow on out, we'll then be switching gears into strategy. But again, energy is so important, so I do think that is worth 2 days. And I want to know what you thought about day 1. Let me know. Did you have any ahas? Did you have anything come up for you? How are you feeling? Let me know all of this in our chat. And if anything does come up, let it out. Let's talk about it. These types of talks can start to uncover certain things and start to have other things that may have been dormant in your mind or in your body kind of just come to the surface. So let's be very vocal about what you need support with, what's coming up for you, and let me and let the soul family support you and help you. Just, if you need to chat things out, if you need to, if you're maybe a little confused about your purpose or what this whole energy talk is all about, like, let's get into it. All right, so day 2, the energy of launching is how I see it. I'm going to be looking at it from 2 different angles. And there's an energy that you are in when you launch. Obviously there's the energy that you carry with yourself every day, but as you get closer to launch and as you get into launch, your energy becomes so much more important. There's another, and this is just another aspect that I have never even really talked about today. But seeing everyone's soul work and just feeling called to share more about this, I think that it is just, and I've never really kind of dealt with that in the past because it was a mindset, and I have my own master classes for mindset, but I really do think that this mindset / energy aspect of things is going to be really important to touch on, because it does spill over into how we show up for launching, which is what this is all talking about: the alignment, the vibe, the embodiment that you need to be in. And this is going to be an extension of yesterday. So yes, a lot can come up. If you don't have blocks, that's fine, and that might be great now. However, most people do have certain blocks when they start to market themselves for the first time, or if it doesn't show up then, these blocks show up closer to launch, and a lot can come up during the launch. And a lot of it might be subconscious until then, or you might just kind of know what's going on, but it might become worse. And I call these the mind gremlins, and they come out of nowhere and they try to take you down. And these mind gremlins, they basically are here to tell you really scary stories or really negative things about yourself. And launching is very intimate. It can be very personal, and it can be very emotional. You're launching and you're birthing this baby into the world, your purpose. It can be very, very intimate, like I said, and that is when the mind gremlins start to come out. They kind of like feel your energy waving, and they just like sneak on in there. And this is one of the reasons why you start to freeze. And it could be for all these different reasons. We all have different mind gremlins. There's the fear of judgment. There's the fear of failure. There is, really just anything. Not good enough. I'm not worthy of this. So we're here to keep this in mind. And it's, more than anything, it's just important just to think about and to just be cognizant of. and put it at the forefront before we actually get to launch. I remember the first time I ever launched something, I just felt so desperate for buyers. And I realized that I placed my entire worth on the number of people that I would sell to. And it was terrifying. It terrified me to step into the spotlight for the fear that people would watch me fail. And I've done a lot of work around this. And what I discovered is that, I attached my value to achievements. And I also realized that one of my biggest fears was being seen as a loser. And even worse, people not even specifically telling me I'm a loser, but like talking behind my back or even just like thinking about it. For some reason, that word and that thought made me freeze. It terrified me. And even when I did take actions, it was an energetic veil that I put over myself because I didn't directly take this on until I did take it on, but being called a loser behind my back was like the one thing that really kept me up at night. And I don't know why. It was just like, I never really thought of it. Like, you kind of always feel like there's something weird or off when you have these blocks, and you might not always know what it is. And I don't know why it's that word, but the word loser terrified me. And it actually still does every now and then. But it's not as bad. It's just more of like a shadow there that I have to, rework and retell myself and work on my mindset, because again, we're always evolving and we always want to make sure that, we are taking that step to better ourselves. But for years, it kept me from showing up in a very authentic way and in a really big way, in a way that could change a life, that could help me achieve my purpose. So this is huge. Like even like the smallest, weirdest blocks can really inhibit your performance and your success. And it's interesting. So this kind of came out of nowhere. Again, like I told you, I've always felt this, but I didn't even really, it came to mind when I was watching the Taylor Swift documentary. And this is where she explains that her biggest fear was people not liking her, and she needed people to like her, and her whole brand was based off of people liking her, and all the money that she made and the success has all come from people liking her. And then she talks about like the whole Kanye thing happened and the Kim thing happened and all these other things happened. And she suddenly had millions of these people against her telling her how much they hated her, which was her biggest fear. And she had a really, really hard time, obviously, but, in the end, she survived. She came back stronger. And that's kind of when it clicked for me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, my biggest fear, what's my biggest fear? And that's just kind of when it clicked, it just kind of like popped into my mind. So even just being aware and knowing that this can be there can help bring these out and create things that you can work on to clear the blockage before you even get to launch. So really, if this does come up for you, really think about this. And the one thing that has helped me overcome this is just saying like, okay, well, what if my biggest fear in regards to showing up big, like what if that did happen to me? So think about that. Like, what would that happen to you? What is your biggest fear around showing up, around launching, and what would happen? And just keep on going down that rabbit hole of like, okay, well, then what? Then what would happen? What would happen if I was called a loser? Okay, I would cry. I would feel pretty shitty, but I would get back up and I would show up again. I would show up for my purpose and myself, because my purpose is bigger than this fear that I have. And this is very important because your purpose needs to be bigger than your fear. If it truly is your purpose, then it will be. I can promise you that. But maybe you're afraid of launching and getting zero sales. Well, what if that happened? What would you do? Maybe you're afraid that someone would try to take you down or plot against you or steal all your money from you. Okay, well, what if that happened? What if you invested all your money and you lost it all? Talk yourself through that. Even if you lost all your money, you know how to get money back. You've made money before, you know how to get money back. It would suck, but, just keep asking yourself, well, then what? Well, then what? You will see that, yes, it will suck, but it's also not the end of the world. Like, you're going to come out of it. If you find yourself down the rabbit hole and you really can't get out and you actually are feeling stuck, bring yourself back to your purpose. Like, this is why we did the homework in day one, specifically for this. because your purpose should always be at the forefront. And when you're feeling down, when you're feeling stuck, go back to your purpose. Feel into your purpose. Don't just read on a post-it, feel into it and remind yourself why the heck you are here on this earth, because you desire to achieve this purpose. And if you desire that purpose, it is meant for you. That is the tall tale sign that if you desire something, you need to go after it. Like you just need to. It was placed in your heart for a reason, and it was placed in your life to feel that way. So this, again, is why the soul work for day 1 was so important. So if you haven't done it, please go back and do it and sit with it and really try to, make the best out of it and make it the most quality you can, because it really can be life-changing. Yeah. And, the bigger your purpose, the smaller your fears get. Once you can actually tap into it. So again, think of a purpose that is bigger than you. And when you actually have that, your fears become smaller, but also when you talk about it, when we bring it up and we think about this and we journal on it, the fears also become smaller. So keep on doing the work until it gets smaller and smaller. And, it's probably always going to be there until you actually take action and do it. And again, take action. Keep taking action. And the more you take action, it will always go away in the end if you keep doing it. I promise you. I've been through so much random stuff and I've had so many random fears. Like I remember the first time I even did a video, it took me hours to do a video. Now I can hop on and I can just have like some like notes and just run with the mastermind. And I would never be able to do that. So, and another thing too is why I had you do your non-monetary goals, because, okay, maybe your biggest fear is not selling out. Well, what did you really want? Like, what are your goals as it aligns to your bigger purpose? If it is to have a certain vibe in your community to help a certain someone do something, well, more than likely, if you have followed, what I teach and in regards to marketing and really helping people and doing it from a heart center place, you have already done that and you have already won. You have already succeeded. All right. So when you help someone and you do something for good, it is never a bad thing. It is never a waste. Okay, so now that we covered that aspect of things, I want to circle back to showing up as a leader and what that looks like in regards to the actual launch. So your actual launch is going to be around it's going to be probably a few weeks. We can talk about that once we get more into the strategy, and it'll look different for everybody. But yeah, so there's going to be a certain mindset that you are in when you're actually launching, a certain energy you're in during the actual launch phase. Launching in Web3 is vastly different than launching in Web2. Web2, you create something, maybe it's a program, people come by, great, that's it. Web3 is so much harder to launch from an energetic standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, and from like a mental standpoint and a mindset, is that people have been programmed to bet on you. And that if you sell out, it's success. And if you don't sell out, then people start freaking out. So this, while Web3 is so great with ownership, there's also a part of that, there's always a downside too, that we just have to work with. And it's not even really a downside. It's just something that we need to be aware of, that we can manage. All right. So what we can do to manage this is try to educate people even before the launch, well before the launch, that this is not the case. That they're buying into community. They are buying into a purpose larger than them, that if you stick in this community, we're going to achieve it together. They are accessing, from what they're purchasing, a utility. They are accessing proximity to you, like we said. And yes, they can probably even make money off of it if eventually they want to flip it and they're investing in you, because, yeah, all the things. So really, you want to make sure that it's not just about like, oh my gosh, like you can 10x your income, or you can create generational wealth. Like, yeah, that might be a thing, but in reality, like the majority of people, like that's not going to happen from one NFT. So we really need to start educating people about what success looks like, and we need to redefine what success looks like in our own community. But because there are people that are going to be in your community who are already programmed to directly, compare and connect this 5-second launch on if, they're going to make money or not on this project. That's like why there's so much FUD that comes into this place, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And that's what happens is that like it launches and it doesn't sell out in a few seconds, and people go in the Discord and they start fear mongering and they're going nuts, and they're getting pissed at you because you're doing something wrong, or they think you're doing something wrong, or not doing something that you should have done. All right. So managing FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt is going to be one of the biggest priorities during your launch. So how do you manage this? You, like we said, educate along the way, educate way before you launch anything, and really hone in on why they should buy in regards to the community and the purpose and what they're going to get besides just making more money. So the utility and the people, and really hone in on that, and really hone in on what their life is going to be like in this community, and connecting together as a human race to really achieve a purpose, which is basically like, as humans, one of our main goals for like wanting to live and wanting to, keep growing and evolving. So the best thing that you can do to manage this is to be in the Discord during launch. Make this a priority. I have seen a ton of launches, ton of NFT collections launch and throw these huge parties in Twitter, and they think it's like all dandy and fine over here. Meanwhile, there are people like setting fires to the Discord, freaking out, and nobody has any idea because they're all on Twitter, and while like, yes, great, like have your parties on Twitter, you should be making sure you always have eyes on what's going on in your Discord, especially during launch. Never take your eyes off of your Discord during launch. You need to be in there. And like I said, we are leading the vibe. You need to be in there leading the vibe. All right, so this is like a really great actually segue into like energetically how you show up. So again, we are showing up in our most empowered and embodied state, and we need to have unbreakable energy. So we need to be so set in this embodied state, whatever we need to do to get there. Meditate before, go to hypnotherapy, get a massage, visualize, take breath work, everything we talked about yesterday. Get into that state of being just so grounded. This feels like showing up confidently. It shows up like feeling very like cool, collected, calm, and just again like solid and grounded. That's like, I think probably like the best description is just like very solid in your body. And of course, ready to have fun. Like this is all about fun. Launching is a party. It should feel like a party, and that happens when you show up embodied and empowered and genuinely excited, no matter what happens. And again, this is so important because we all lead the vibe. As leaders of our collection, you lead the vibe. All right. And leading the vibe during launch phase is just, it's so good. It's one of the best things because that is how you show up, like we said, in regards to dealing with issues, in regards to communicating with people during the launch. So think about it this way. If you're at a party and then somebody walks into the room, they're like super like low vibe, you can just tell like they walk in the room and like everyone's just like, or you can just like feel their energy, and that's because negative energy is strong. It is so much stronger than really enlightened energy. I don't know why. It's just like a very doom, like drag you down type of thing. So it is up to you to stay stronger. Okay, so maybe we do some rituals to protect our energy, but just know that you're going to be out there and you're going to be coming across some weird energy. And so it's up to you to make sure that you are creating this territory and you are protecting your territory, and you're saying, no, like this isn't going to be in here. Like this isn't the vibe today. And you can even say that to people like, hey, like, no, this isn't the vibe today. Like, like I understand where you're coming from. If you are thinking it this way, but no, like that's not what's happening. Like today we are here, and no matter but what, we win, and it's all going to happen for the highest good of everyone. And just showing up and knowing that everything is going to work out how it's supposed to work out that's huge, because when negative energy comes around you, you just visualize yourself higher than them, because you are at that point in time, you are higher than the lower vibration energy. And so you need to kind of visualize and feel that. Don't let it seep into your field. Okay. And when FUD does come out, don't get defensive, don't get wishy-washy, don't feel sorry or guilty. Stand in your power. And that doesn't mean like be a bitch or like, just say like, okay, bye, and like just delete people from the server. It's like, no, like you're just telling them, hey, nothing is going to worry me, like I'm unshakable, I'm not worried, you shouldn't be worried. And it's very casual in the sense that you're not letting them get to you. You're being very cool, calm, and collected about it, and tell them, our community is strong, our roadmap is even stronger, and this is all working out beautifully and for the highest good of everyone, and it's going to be good. And I know that our community is better than this, and I know that you are better than giving into this fear. If you have any questions, we're here for you. Like, let's talk through this, but there's no need to scare everyone. Like, this is working out great. All right. And and if something does forbid, I don't know, something crazy happen, take care of it, and tell people like, hey, we're taking care of this. We got this. This obviously isn't how we planned it or how it should have been. And, we're bummed about it, but we know that we're strong and we're going to come back even stronger from this. And we have the ability and the talent to move forward and come out on top. And it's that strength, that no wavering of confidence, is huge in a launch. Okay. So, say you're going out on vacation and you need to hire a pet sitter. Okay, so which two people, like which one of the two would you hire? Somebody comes in, they're like, oh yeah, I watched dogs before and I'm like pretty good at it, but I've actually never really had to deal with any dogs like getting sick. So, but like hopefully that doesn't happen, but we should be good, yeah, we should be cool. Yeah, we're good. Am I good? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Versus the person who comes in, looks you directly in the eye and says, I love what I do. I love animals. I will make it my top priority to make sure that they are happy, they are healthy, they are fed, they are safe. You go have fun and you go on your vacation. I will stay in contact. You'll be in contact. You'll know everything that's going on and it's going to be good. I can promise you that. That is the vibe that we need to be in. I mean, we're going to hire the second person because we feel so safe and calm because they have set that energy, that vibe for us. Yeah. All right. So what else can you do to help yourself show up in this embodied state? Get prepared as much as you can before the launch. Weeks up to the launch, schedule out your Twitter spaces that you want to be a part of in your calendar. Talk to people who you want to be in their Twitter spaces or have on, get that all locked and loaded. Schedule out tweets. You want tweets throughout all the entire day. Reschedule that out as far as you can in advance. Discord announcements, make sure you know exactly what's going out and do that as much as you can for everything that you can. Okay. This is going to help so much. You getting it done before allows you to show up in a way that's not scattered. So if you're out there and you're doing like a lot of output during the day and like tweets over here and trying to figure out the tweets for tomorrow and doing it in real time, that's a lot of like output energy that is really expended and forced and really scattered. And for the launch, you want to preserve that energy as much as possible. You want to like bring it back in. If you haven't seen this yet, watch the Expand Your Capacity Masterclass. That is free. It's in the free channel. Expand Your Capacity. This is going to be huge too, of just making sure that you're not giving away your energy. You are keeping it for yourself during this launch. We don't want scattered energy. We want to launch in leaned back energy. Oh, sorry, I need to stand up. My legs are like killing me right now. I'm in a very interesting spot because the lighting has not been good today. Okay, so not showing up in scattered energy. What we want to show up as is in leaned back energy. So this is going to be the more feminine approach to things. You want to, that's that cool, calm, and collected and grounded, like leaning back, we are taking care of ourselves, and we are allowing ourselves to receive. Okay, so this is getting a little bit more into manifestation and playing in the quantum realm with masculine and feminine energy. But I mean, this is gold. Like, this is so good. Masculine energy is all about the doing. You know, every single person and thing in this world is made up of energy, and they both have a balance of masculine and feminine. So masculine is all about output. It's all about doing. And if you're always on, always tweeting, always in that space of like, oh my gosh, I have to go for this launch, you can only be outputting, and it doesn't really allow you to have the chance to switch to the feminine, which is all about receiving. You know, so money is energy, sales is energy, NFTs are energy. You need to be in a leaned back energy, that feminine energy, to receive. So you want to do all the doing and prep work before, and once launch happens, of course, you want to be as leaned back as possible in that, you know, receiving state. Let me paint a clearer picture for you, just to make sure we ingrain this, and I definitely know that you understand what I'm talking about. So let's say there's a couple, one partner is like super upset about something, outputting, yelling, this person, like, you did this wrong, and you did this wrong, and how come you never do this, and just spewing commands. Well, that's them being in the masculine. They're outputting, you know, and not saying like that masculine is all about like yelling. It's not. I'm just talking about in regards to like an output state. And to balance that out, the other person is in feminine energy. So now they're like in receiving energy, and it's really hard for them to come back and to really give output and be the alpha and stand up and give back when they're being like, the energy is being shot at them, if that makes sense. So they are receiving and you are the output, but you're like demanding the stuff. However, it's very hard to get anything that you want when you're putting the other person in the receiving mode and you are putting yourself in the output mode. Okay. So maybe you want more affection. Well, it's not going to happen if you let the other partner go into masculine, unless you let the other partner go into masculine energy. So instead of commanding all the time, nagging, you know, it happens when you say, hey, I would love if, say something like very specific, kiss me before you go to work every day. You know, like, I would love more of that from you. And then lean back, be soft about it. And when you get into that feminine energy and you allow yourself to receive and you're being soft about it, you're more than likely probably going to get what you were asking for and what you want. Same as if you are in this boss employee relationship. You know, if you are the boss and you're always just doing everything for people, well, they can't help you, you know, because you're in the masculine energy and nobody, to balance it out, everyone else is in the feminine. So you need to switch that up. You need to tell them what you need, lean back in the feminine energy, and let your employees be in the masculine and do all the work and get all it done. Okay. So I hope that helps paint a clear picture of the feminine versus, you know, masculine and what it means. So during launch, do whatever you can to get into receiving mode, take care of yourself, and to have fun. Having fun is a really good vibe in launch mode. And money and people just love the party vibes, you know, so we want to make sure that your launch is like as partyful as possible. So during launch, like, spend time on yourself having fun, which is easier said than done. But, you know, schedule out, like we talked about, as much as you can. Get help during that time. If you don't have a Discord mod, get Discord mods and do what you can. Okay. But have fun, lean back, and just enjoy. And it might not be possible to, you know, go to a resort and turn off your cell phone for the entire day, but you can at least take 15 minutes sporadically throughout the day and get yourself back into that feminine energy, into that receiving mode, and into the mode of just solid, grounded energy in case anything comes up where you need to show up as the leader. All right. So don't give away your energy. You know, especially to negativity or fear or people in scarcity mode. Stay in your energy and trust. Trust is a huge thing. If you can trust that everything is happening for the highest good, that can help you relax. And it always is. Everything always works out how it needs to work out. You need to trust. Okay. Again, it's taking your hands off the wheel and letting somebody else drive, aka the magical universe, who is going to help bring everything to life. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in regards to that. I think this is it for today for the energy portion of all of this. So I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know your questions. Let me know your feedback. If you found anything really helpful or useful, again, would love for you to leave some feedback in the feedback channel or tweet this out for anybody who needs to hear any of the takeaways that you had today. But this is really huge. And I think that if you can tap in and master this, it is going to help you show up in a way for your launch that people are going to want to buy from you. It's going to allow you to show up in a way where you can receive more money, and it's going to allow you to have more fun and less mental breakdowns. So let's talk about the homework. Let me get my notes out. Okay. So first and foremost, I want you to write down your biggest fear. What is your biggest fear in regards to launching and showing up for a launch? If you have one. And I just want to make sure that you are being super conscious of what your body is feeling and what truly is going on the inside, because energetically, if there's anything in there that's not cleaned up, that is going to muddy the energy, and we need squeaky clean energy to receive. And I don't want you to just make something up if it doesn't exist. I'm not here to be like, oh, you definitely have something, let's pull it out, but just at least think about it and let's take it head on now if anything does pop up, and if it does pop up, at least you now have the tools to help yourself get through it or to help you stand in that power. And this part isn't actually really even like homework, this next point that I'm going to say, or at least not homework for tonight, but it's going to be ongoing. I want you to start making a list as we go through this program, as you go through crafting what you want your launch to look like. Make a list of everything that you can do beforehand. Maybe you got the idea for like a really great post that you think would just crush it and get people into your Discord and buy. Write it down, schedule it out. All right, get it all out of your head as much as possible, off of your to-do list as possible, and schedule it. Okay, this is going to make your life so much easier. I promise you. And then just practice going into receiving mode. This is the third piece of homework. Practice going into receiving mode, into the feminine. When someone says they're going to buy you dinner, say thank you and receive, accept. Don't push it away. When somebody compliments you, say thank you. Don't say, oh, how people have they take compliments, but they don't really take compliments. Take the compliment, say thank you, and really feel into that compliment, really accept it and really receive it. And then ask for something that you want for your partner. So if there is something that you want, ask for it specifically in a really nice, soft way, and then lean back in feminine energy and just kind of work with that and play with that and see how it feels, especially if you're someone like me who always wants their way and wants it done ASAP. And I nag, not as badly as I used to, but, and I'm of course always working on that, but get into that, get into feeling the feminine energy and just, again, taking the backseat approach of leaning back and trusting that if you tell your partner in a really specific and really honest and authentic way, that they're going to be there for you, and you can lean back and you can just, accept everything that they want to give to you. Okay. So do all this, keep me posted on how this goes. Put your homework, if you want to, in the homework sweat section, and let's chat about this. And let's get ready for tomorrow. I'm really excited for tomorrow because we are getting into the nuts and bolts of launching and actually starting to create action plans and very specific tactical events and things that you can do to get yourself launch ready. All right. I hope you enjoyed today, and I will see you soon.